different. That's understandable. It's been a while since you were last in Portofino, hasn't it? Of course, Operan. Very well.
She gives you a nod.
I'll be here if you require.
The fax machine awaits orders. Image quality, and whatever remains of human patience, you turn away.
She's going to melt his head.
On the TV, a giant wolf-like creature stands up on its hind legs and howls. Its fur bristles gold. Dangerous, mythical, electrifying. No wonder the kids are watching this. Shh. Suddenly, the beast roars and light floods the screen. It's followed by a wet, pulpous sound.
Ecstatic wolf is awake.
LED lights are distributed evenly along the blade. Durable PVC hilt with textured grip. Impressive armament.
Wolves. It's 66 wolves, and it's our favorite thing in the whole world. It's about a girl who has 66 chambers in her heart, and each one contains a wolf. And the wolves came out to make war with the angels.
Each wolf has a special weapon, and they have super violent special attacks too.
On the screen, a headless lupine figure, standing on its back legs, shakes violently. Blood pours from its neck as flesh reknits itself.
Like when Weary Wolf ate an angel, but she did it slow because she was angry. So the angel was screaming the whole time.
It's the best show. And it's from La Luz.
It's the place where they make all the cool stuff. It's not like here. I bet they even have flying tuk-tuks.
Ridiculous. These wobbling open chassis abominations can barely function on solid ground.
And also we have cousins over there.
Some Portoferans refer to Lusians as strange cousins, a nod to this island's colonial past.
We don't really know them. I talked to one once, on the phone.
I asked Mom if they could come over one day, and she said it's hard because La Luz is so far.
Everyone loves it. Some of the grown-ups like it, even though it's a cartoon.
Notice that the broadcast is in Mercian, not Lusian, dubbed for a foreign audience.
The music man, he hates the show, and so he won't order the audio discs.
A neurotically organized stall, about 10 meters west. A morose man stands there obsessively cleaning a disc-like object.
Yeah, him.
Well, maybe he should stop then.
He says he won't sell the music discs because it would poison our brain with sonic excrements. But then why does he sell the other Lucian discs? He's a big loser. I don't know any. Do you know any, maybe?
Wait, I remember those. From when I was little. There was one with puppets arguing a lot, and another with a green cat who was also a thief to help people.
Neither sounds terribly enticing.
Death to puppets.
But we barely told you anything. We can tell you everything about 66 wolves. So you can just ask, okay?
It's Pathos Wolf's flaming claymore.
These kids are lost. Their hearts belong to technofascism.
No, it's one of the real ones.
He means it's not from the bazaar, but from La Luz. Our aunt bought it for him.
The children ignore you, entranced by the television.
Off-brand driver, cheap plastic housing.
The man gazes down at a crate of cartridge discs, eyes narrow, a box of little nemesis. Veins rise like old roots beneath his thin skin.
Mass-produced excrement. These animals pleasure themselves in it. Collectors, art students, tourists, tote bag owners, the whole dim herd. You see this? Each one guaranteed for 10,000 replays. Obscene.
No one will ever get it the way he does. Exteriors aren't everything. He's judging these little discs too harshly. They may contain wonders.
Stars have mercy. This might be The one that pushes me over the edge. Each single velo disc represents a single cell of Stage 5 cultural metastasis.
Velodisc, a modern laser hybrid medium, played using a heated stylus unit. Astounding sonic fidelity, cause of thousands of home fires.
Synthetic brain cancer. A fledgling device, yes, but make no mistake. They've perfected the technology with these newer formats. Sleeker, quicker to go obsolete. Because the dim herd pays top sol for this dreck, of course. Making an ethical living impossible feat these days. Just a disc format? I see. No interest in nuance or discussion. You're clearly a standard issue replayer.
No entries found under replayer. Filing under insults, incomprehensible.
Go ahead. Browse away. My name's Petre. If you need anything, I'll be here. Lamenting what's left of the culture. Strange how? Format or content? More cheap calories to sate the masses. All right, let's have it. An Einzelton XR. Where did you get this? Oh, not mine. Humanities. Einzelton hasn't been available to consumers for a decade. A disc in good condition is worth thousands of sol to people who appreciate its wonders.
Specialists, collectors of the rare and the defunct. People like him, in other words.
You played it. And what? You sought to defile a corpse a little more, just for fun? Better they recalled them all years ago. Better a mass manufacturing fault than this, to save them from this humiliation from being passed around like...
The vendor deflates before you.
I'm sorry.
Talking to the Einzeltone, not you.
I assume fondling a human corpse would also make you feel pretty.
You did a little of that too, but no need to mention. Makes sense. Forbidden media. Desecration of a tomb. The broken seal.
Ultraviolet is a pop singer. Degenerate, Lucian, Electro-Dross. There's a new fabricated star every day, it seems, but she's the top of today's pile. As for the title, probably the works of a brain-dead marketing committee. The fact that it's committed to Einzeltone suggests it's some kind of promo copy. Some new advancement of degeneracy from across the Nos Correntes. Of course it's real. You can't bootleg an Einzeltone. Another of its enduring qualities. This ultraviolet has gone missing at the moment. Kidnapped by counter-fascist radicals, whatever that means. Lucian marketing plot, if you ask me.
Could be the work of the militia Ruben Rouge, extreme communist fringe group. They've ransomed public figures before.
Mystery, fragility, trying to add something of the legendary to her status.
The vendor looks at the red disc and runs a thumb over its surface.
None of this is the Einzeltone's fault, of course. They can't control what gets seared upon them. You seem to have misunderstood my soliloquy. It's done. No mass. The beauty and the tragedy of the format. I hope you dispose of it with dignity. I think a private ceremony would be most appropriate.
Your mind blanks at the glare. These things are single play only. Anything else is sacrilege.
Yes. Yes. Very great.
The vendor's eyes narrow behind his orange lenses.
This is a media store. Not the missing persons division. Also one of the GM's Visquet.
The Guardia Municipal. Street cops.
I try. So most of humanity fades into an indistinguishable morass of banality. This colleague, what does it look like? The sock boy. Dialectical looking glasses. Air of advanced virginity. Yes, he came by here. Little communist lost. Adrift among the many wonders of the free market.
You see him now, eyes wide, reward circuit shorted out by the cut and thrust of commerce.
Well, viewed it might be a stretch. Let's just say the man was definitely mobile. Your dialectical friend mistook himself for some sort of big money businessman. He wanted the bazaar to import superblock hosiery. Socks to start with, but there was talk of cotton tights, even stockings if the venture took off.
Making inroads with his persona. Competent in theatre, at least for this period of play. He needed you.
No. And to be honest, I wouldn't have wasted the stock. He seemed immune to music. You're joking, of course. He didn't even know what a velo disc was, let alone an Einzeltone. At a certain point, I'm just debasing myself. course not. I don't sell socks. So is he all right, your man? Or what? He's probably neck-deep in drug-lathered prostitutes, lobotomized by the latest in electro-pop dreck. Wonders of the developed world.
The vendor gauges you behind his colored lenses, tongue skimming teeth. All across the city of Petra, there is silence. People peer out fearfully from the slivers between curtains.
I'll be blunt. Are you with a weeping eye?
A fresh injection of fear. Primal grade. Such insult. The depressed reactionary has mistaken you for your direct opposite. Your sworn enemy.
Not immediately. Could be a cheap knockoff, though. The weeping eye sheds many tears, as they say. If you ever expand to ears, let me know. My point is, your colleague was asking questions. Now, something's obviously happened, and here you are, also asking questions. Given the current climate, no one wants to answer these questions, least of all, me. I'll tell you what I told your sock friend. Speak to the boatman down by the Vest docks. He's the one who knows the underground goings-on around here. We're just the vendors. The cool one.
In his baroque hierarchy of shame, being cool falls just under being a replayer. Whatever that is.
Excessive sunglasses. Relaxed aura, likely on a boat. No way of confusing him. Wonderful. Now for all our sakes, please say no more. If you want to talk media formats, I'm your man. This other stuff. Shelves are over there, replete with crass, replayable formats. Like I said, gorge yourself. Only doctor I know is Hugo. Has a houseboat not far from here. Sure.
A low, tilting shelf marked in heavy block letters. Various sections are separated by narrow plastic dividers, each one labeled with the same neat script. A baffling assortment. Hairdresser music, children's choirs, self-love anthems, opinionated female vocalists, and too many keyboards. The labeling and sorting is as meticulous as it is uniformly disdainful. More labels, falsetto-centric, made for pederasts, made by pederasts, pretentious time signatures, yodeling, ululation. The section Weaponized Boredom includes such titles as Music for Dentist Waiting Rooms and Narcoleptic Landscapes, both by Eloisa Alba. The care placed into the organization is itself an act of love, performed hatefully. A single label fills up the entire back row. You feel the media vendor's eyes on you as you flip through the offerings.
You confuse dislike with discernment. Typical of those raised on jingles and sponsorship anthems. What galls me is that it doesn't matter how I label any of it. These these animals thank me for being thorough, then buy two.
You try, but it's difficult to find something you're interested in while waiting. Whisper funk albums, kazoo devotionals, a breakup/meditation EP, an album cover where the singer hugs themselves in the mirror, track lists with 9-minute-long affirmations, a solo project described as ecstatically celibate. Almost as though you already knew what you were looking for, you turn straight towards the Made for Pederasts section. You pluck out a disc, ultravioletta, cover the moon when I'm gone. On the cover, the halo of a lunar eclipse frames the silhouette of a young woman, her outline distorted by the jagged edges of the costume she wears.
And what exactly would you call adults who fawn over dolled-up starlets too young to even own the rights to their own music? Don't tell me you're one of them. Never is the only sane answer.
It's like there's lead rings weighing down your fingers. You can't even bring yourself to properly look through the bin. Derivative, inane shit. Made for nobody. What are you...
Do you understand now? I patiently await the day when an Einzelton aficionado will come and rescue me from this hell. If I didn't sell them this brain poison, they'd just get it somewhere else.
You turn your attention away from the shelf.
Excuse me. Can you take a look at this?
The young woman turns from a store of party wigs and beaded necklaces to thrust a photograph under your nose. A hood a burrow, she the mouse within. The photograph shows a robust man well into his 60s. He is unremarkable save his eyes, which are magnified to comedic proportions by the thick lens spectacles in front of him.
Have you seen him before? You're sure? Thanks for taking a look. Wanna buy some costume accessories? My name...
Frantic but resigned, exhausted by herself.
Mi viejo. My dad. He's been missing a few days. He probably just started walking and got lost. Old people do that kind of thing. I'm just worried. I told him watching too much TV was making him crazy.
Television doesn't destroy minds, you fool. It molds them.
No, I mean, that's the most likely scenario, right? Ugh, this is kind of embarrassing.
Embarrassment isn't the problem. A much darker feeling is trying to claw its way into our consciousness.
My dad developed this insane theory about the payphone to the western exit of the bazaar. No, he's not like that. Dad thought certain words said into the right phone gets your attention from the wrong people. He was convinced Emter was behind it all. Dad and his friend Gilmar were big into conspiracies. They were obsessed with the reality situation. They really bought all that stuff. They seem pretty random. Cousins, moon, reunion. His friend Gilmar called him from that phone after he'd spent the night following around some Emter guys. They were both big into the conspiracy stuff. He'd overheard something and was explaining it when the call just cut off. My dad went by his house the next day, but Gilmar wasn't there. Yeah. He looked for Gilmar for 2 weeks. Reported him missing to the GMs. Nothing.
Why would Emter care about a couple of impressionable old men?
Bagman did an episode on them, and so Gilmar started following random people, thinking they were from the bank. Not long after, he roped my dad into it. Guys in expensive business suits, usually. Foreign accents, verbally abusive, and tight with their money. Except when it comes to treating a client. Normal rich guy stuff. Hitting up the bars and shouting abuse at the local drunks. And then they disappeared into penthouses where they couldn't be followed. Miriajo did, but Gilmar stayed out. And then he called my dad around 2 in the morning. He'd overheard something and was explaining it when the call just cut off. My dad went by his house the next day, but Gilmar wasn't there. It's not funny. My dad was really freaked. I asked him if the phone call was all a nightmare or if he forgot Gilmar was going on a trip. I thought maybe the show was getting into his head, you know? Dad really believed it, though. He looked for him for 2 weeks.
Why would Emter care about a couple of impressionable old men?
A couple days ago, he stopped by the stall to bring me lunch. Then he said he was going to make a call. I wasn't nervous at first. I figured there was no risk of anything actually happening. And then he didn't come home.
Washing out the container that carried homemade rice and beans. Glancing out the window above the sink as the sun goes down.
No. I mean, he just can't leave things alone when he gets an idea into his head.
Momentarily, the mumbling from the nearby stalls hushes, listening.
Anyway, you want a wig? I hear they make you fun at parties. Oh, yeah, he came by. Nice man. Talked a lot about socks. He was, normal. Pretty forgettable, if I'm honest. I told him, unless your socks are mismatched and neon-colored, I'm not much use to you. Not really. Wandered off into the bazaar. What do you mean, something's happened? Did he use the phone? Oh, well, at least you have that. Sorry. Yeah, I was kind of distracted when he showed up. Why? Really? You're not going to try to make a call or anything, right? Okay. It's the phone by the western entrance to the bazaar. Yeah, they're right there. Take a look. You need anything else? Thanks for stopping by.
The gate stands before you, still locked. The gate creaks in the breeze.
You! Carmona demands answers. Carmona saw you scaling that pylon, speaking to the creep at its top. He's been spying on us all, day in, day out. Are you in leagues with him? What is... Answer the question. What is that creep creeping? Oh! Well, engineering is good work, proper. Though he doesn't seem to be doing much of it. Carmona knew he was off, but just a slacker all along. Carmona will not take comfort in that. Here. Some comfort in return. Well...
She lowers her voice, hunches forward.
The dock workers suspected they found an agent of the Weeping Eye, working right here, in the bazaar.
Your heart convulses at their mention.
Found him taking Lucian money. Carmona doesn't believe it, though, Menina. They got the wrong man. He bought a beautiful coat from Carmona's stall just last week. A real gentleman. Nobody with the eye could be so polite or have such a good taste in outerwear.
The dock workers must have had more information on him. Find out what you can. If there are Weeping Eye here, you need to know why.
They're Lucian, Menina. Bazaar's full of bootlegs. They're keeping an eye on their wares. It would never. It was a trench coat, multicolored, but predominantly oranges raids. It recalled the carpet bag of the olden variety.
He was at photo 24 and your double was incapacitated. This is now your prime suspect.
always had a camera. Ask yourself, Menina. Would a whipping-eye man walk around with a camera? Too obvious. This is all a matter of taste. I'm not out. He was like a son to me, Menina. But no, never got his details. The one you're wearing. I'm afraid so, Menina. Very well. You're working with that nice boy. He was fine super block soul. I should have known you were cut from the same cow the way you handled that creep. I sent him to the docks west of here. Head boatman there reports directly to the bazaar manager, in charge of imports, exports. Maybe he knows where he went. Take a look through the rack over there. No lice, no rips, no patches. Afraid no, Menina. That poor girl. This bazaar is always changing. Lots to ask, lots to say. We're in the ruins of a silk numero 3, burnt down decades ago. But Carmuna still remembers the smell of the flies. Nestor. We used to paint that statue with all sorts of insults when it still stood. We knew slurs you haven't even imagined, Menina. He promised us Nestorismo, a new type of politics, his own invention. A middle ground between the developed world and the superblock. Ah, yes, I remember that one. But Bastardo Nestor thought Portofino could be different.
She jerks her chin over to the statue. Nestor's pondweed eyes stare up at the sky through a foot of rank canal water.
You see how it went? Very good. Don't forget to check the racks.
You approach Carmuna's rack of clothing, protected from the elements by a clear plastic sheet. No two pieces are alike. Second-hand olds and newish fakes. Fashion has a short memory. Anything worn long enough to have been faked is already ancient. The rack sways with misspelled logos and forgotten styles. Cowboy boots, leather trousers, a long black skirt. Kinda cool. But is that all you are, Cascade? Kinda cool. Listen to yourself. Everybody knows that means you're trying, but you're shit. And the knowledge is fucking killing you. Get some style, some vision. Show them how special you are.
The threads will reveal themselves only to the right person.
The right person is you. Come on. Attention-seeking fashion does not befit an operant, Cascade. You sift through the rack once, twice. Nothing catches your eye. Too dull, you mean?
Good? What's the use in good? Don't look for good. Good is what gets people in a blue jeans and collared shirts. Let your senses roam, Menina. The right thing will call to you.
You let your eyes wander up and down the rack, aimless until they alight upon a post-white jacket, despoiled by an array of multicolored stains. Smells like perfume, tequila, cigarettes. You slip it on and try to smooth down its faux fur mange. Your fingers come away with a coating of white powder. Bitter, numbing.
Your eyes guided you to a real garment there, Menina. You could pass for one of those Lusian pop stars in that coat. Even better. For you, 25 so.
The coat sends out one last bid for your attention by dropping a single acrylic nail on the floor by your foot. Hangers scrape against metal as you
Discount for you, Menina.
The rack sags a little in the middle. You turn away from the rack. You pick up the payphone's handset. A dolphin emblem smiles at you, its eyes wide.
Hello and welcome to the reality situation. Before we begin, I just need to check. Is your line secure? That's a joke, obviously. No line is secure. Your thoughts, ladies and gentlemen, are not secure. Consciousness itself is tapped. The call is coming from inside the house.
An insane question, for reasons that should be quite apparent. Tell me, what aspect of reality did you want to ask about?
Indeed, anyone still laboring under the illusion that this is a free city is encouraged to take a swim or a boat out to the 3.3-kilometer mark, where that vessel orbits, and you'll see exactly how free we are. It's a patrol boat, in short. If I had to guess, I would say it's making sure no one ventures out into the unrendered areas. Reports of flashing lights upon the vessel would appear to confirm this hypothesis. What else? Salute.
The receiver clicks back into place. The Reno-tail dolphin eyes you expectantly. You press the soft plastic, feeling the curves where it meets the metal underneath. A man in a hard hat and blue vest finishes the last twist of his screwdriver and gets up from where he's now, knees down. The poke sends a ripple from your fingertip through the rest of your body, resonating with pleasure. You do not yet have the number of anyone else in this city. The Reno-tail. You step away from the payphone.
Forget about him. I can give you everything he can, and more. I'm always serious with you, but okay, I can see that fire in your eyes. I haven't seen it, promise. Baby, not only am I a businessman, I am a purveyor of taste. I curate high-class aesthetics and deliver low-overhead miracles. Sometimes it's fashion, sometimes it's conversation pieces. And I got fresh weed, too. Freshest.
Astounding. Must have been harvested just a few days ago.
You'll be seeing lizards and volcanoes with this strain. That's not a guarantee, but it's not a lie either. Just weed, on account of it being part of my religion. Everything else is hot on.
You don't have to use it to sell it.
And I'm not selling it. All right, tell me what's on your mind.
This is a man of many competing loyalties. His family, his business, his friends. But the one that stays his hand the most?
I hear you, but catch me up real quick. What is your religion?
Your answer here must be important. The final test.
That's what I meant.
Of course. Religion is a drug for the masses. It's code. Shiftily, he looks around left and right. After a moment, he blows in and out, then leans in to whisper.
You cannot tell my brothers about this, alright? But I've got the best ex around.
not as serious as that, but you get the point.
I'll be seeing you.
man gives no indication of registering your presence. His mirrored sunglasses are turned skywards. Must be cataract glasses. He's visually impaired. Maybe mentally impaired also.
You're excused. Help you with something?
His jacket's been patched over many times. Storied. A decent performance, but you have notes. We'll have a talk with the vendors later today. A firm one. An old, low-slung workhorse with tar patches, welded plates, and mismatched boards. Resin on the seams, hairline cracks across the hull. Someone's been fighting to keep it alive. Marina 32, early 70s issue. Port of Fear and manufacturing. Built for municipal dredging, but this one's been heavily modded. Long dead hands carrying the hull, white fingers in the brine. You know where this is going, right? You're not going to just walk into it. He stares at you and keeps staring at you. Time to show. Cards on the table. A still moment. From a nearby rooftop, the sound of children playing. A polite round of applause for the support act. A face flashes in your mind, unbidden. Heavy-set, boyish grin. Traces of the underworld clinging to him. Your cerebrospinal fluid turns to liquid refrigerant. Tempo del Sur, mid-tier deity in the local underworld, and once your asset, cryptonym Taxman, also someone you once called a friend. Because his name is Pseudopod, and the hushed arena awaits a different spy. He nods slowly. You catch an impression of his eyes as the light hits his sunglasses. A rough voice down a splintering phone line. No silly cunts. Cascade only, person to person. Cascade or nothing. Shards of both past and present collide. In the wreckage, a jagged pattern forms. 1. Tempo, cryptonym Taxman, your dormant asset. Contacts the opera. Intent unknown. Information unknown. Request, meeting with operant Cascade. Only Cascade. 2. Cascade status frozen. Duration in perpetuum. Opera issues directive. Dispatch lead operant to Port of Vero. 3. Pseudopod. Active in theatre. Assignment, meet with Taxman. Retrieve message. They wanted Pseudopod to become Tempo's new handler. You were just here to smooth the transition. They farmed out your asset, your friend, to some trouserless infant. Four, Pseudopod fails to meet with Taxman. Requests Cascade from Opera. 5. Timeline disrupted. Movements unknown. Pseudopod. Status changes to lost. 6. Cascade. Status changes to reanimated. Operant arrives in theatre. Unbriefed. Unassigned. And... Emotions coagulate, but at their center a truth catches the light. You knew it all along. One of your people reached out for you. Innocent use of past tense, but still, you don't care for it. He was hoping you could make sense of it. So either under a lot of mental stress or seeing ghosts, this message could be critical. It could also be nothing but branches tapping a window pane. A hollow center, expanding with every passing hour. As the sun smears across rooftops, a man with a briefcase full of carefully folded socks sits on a metal bench. He sits there for a long time, considering the tangle of alleyways that surround him. Tempo had many criminal-grade contacts in the looms. Probably how he dodged the fallout after your network blew. He bottomed his way to the bottom. A jolt of fear snaps through you, writing itself across your face. Unclear if he noticed, he sniffs idly, rolling the cigarette between his lips. Probably, but not definitely. A tinge of grief flutters past his face. He lowers his head in brief salute. The brightly coloured refreshments seem even more vivid upon your return. The refreshments remain.
You're back again. Can't say I'm familiar with the name. I still don't know him. Were I aware of anyone conducting illicit business, formalities would be expected. Paperwork, licensing, inspections. It'd be my responsibility to report all inconsistencies.
An absurd reality demands an absurd performance to match. A tinge of affection.
Of course there is. It's nonsense, if you ask Marito. Sure. Don't need to dwell.
The GM gives you the... This is the one. The payphone that makes people disappear. The receiver emits a hollow whisper in your ear. You hear only the reverberation of your own voice, amplified. Still half hoping for something to happen, you put the receiver down. Nothing happens. You hang up the phone, undisappeared. With awkward reverence, you approach the shrine again. Dockworker's voice.
Upraft.
A hiss, followed by the frantic clack, clack, clack of a microfiche reader. High contrast negatives hit the back of your retinas. 58, collapse of Ildeser's Grand Bridge. 60, Laplage's royal family liquidated. 63, suppressed uprising in PR Yoffi. 67, the Agora minor blackout. No direct attribution possible. Cross-references simply point to one figure, skipping in the margins of history. Cryptonym redacted. Date of birth redacted. Nation of origin disputed. Joined the opera late 40s. Declared null entity in 69. Whatever happened in 69, it must have to do with that box. Maybe it's not just a medical necessity. Maybe it's something more. The microfiche reader clacks a final time, settling on a monochrome picture. Beneath it, a nom de guerre. His fleshy cheeks pull his mouth into just the slightest approximation of a smile. A name whispered among tutors and veterans, invoked like a demon from a lost mythology.
Warms the heart to know people still talk about you when you're not around. Already succumbing to techno-fascist fantasias. Concerning for your controllers. Too bad. This world still contains wonders if you've got the eyes to see.
The box hisses. He puts a cigarette out in an empty schnapps glass. Suprema 100, like the ones your double brought.
Forewarned is forearmed.
Music, not really my area. Spotted a couple teenagers in elaborate costumes. Seem to be fans of some kind. That's local television personality, though his accent suggests origins in the People's Republics. Lavendy, I'd say.
The PR Lavendy, the less socially developed neighbor of the PR Kohila.
Obviously a lunatic, an addict of some sort. I'd keep my distance, were I you. He's got a glorified rat hole in the housing campaign. Calls it his Fortress Studio. Across the rooftops, I think. Please, Operan. There's cavorting with the genius loci, and then there's wrapping your mouth around a raw sewage line. That said, he's got tens of thousands of regular viewers. Not bad for public access. No such thing in my experience. Till next time.
Thanks for fixing the TV. Very kind of you. Isok versus Sporting if you're interested. Score's tied.
With the purple bloom gone, you can clearly see the action as the Pelota players volley the ball back and forth across the court.
See you.
I'll print. What do you mean? That's an astonishingly rude way to talk about your double. Oh. Oh, God. What do we do, Oprint? It was yesterday, when he returned for the evening. He looked stressed, like he was shouldering a great burden. It must have been the assignment, I'm sure. No, I don't believe so. Only that you'd be arriving today, and none too soon. Pseudopod was a very good teacher. He said it would fall on me to see after any operants who are I wonder, did he ever suspect he was talking about himself? Absolutely not. Nobody's been upstairs except yourself and Pseudopod. I can assure you, Oprint. Oh dear, I could use a rag. I've never seen this before. What's on it?
Meaning Pseudopod must have brought it here.
No, I don't pay attention to all that. Music is very overrated in my opinion. But it's just a disc. How can that be? I must say, it doesn't look like a regular disc like you buy at the shops. This looks more like a bootleg. I haven't the faintest idea. I'm adrift. Pseudopod struck me as an absolute professional and very cautious.
She's dying inside. She felt a great deal of affection for your double. Your double's condition is of secondary importance.
I suppose I could move him to the spare room down here. That way I can keep an eye on him. A doctor. Dr. Hugo would help. He runs a houseboat clinic in the backways to the west of the old docks, past the waterlock.
She doesn't respond, but looks down as her cheeks flush deep crimson.
Of course. The least I can do. I'll be here if you require anything.
Mortal lives expire. Souls go to their doom.